Welcome to BizConnect with Philippine-American Chamber of Commerce of Arizona, your front row seat to Arizona's Filipino-American business success stories. Let's connect, learn, and grow.
Mabuhay everyone. I'm Edward Lago, State President of PACCA. BizConnect with PACCA is a blog series by the Philippine-American Chamber of Commerce of Arizona. Our goal is to spotlight our members, their businesses, professions, and personal journeys, while also keeping you in the loop with relevant business news and trends that impact our community. From local success stories to real talk about challenges and opportunities in Arizona's business world. BizConnect is your space to stay informed, get inspired, and build meaningful connections. Whether you're growing a business or advancing your profession, this blog is here to support your journey and celebrate our vibrant business and professional network. And now, let's meet our host, who will bring you informative and exciting episodes of BizConnect with PACCA.
Welcome to BizConnect with PACCA, powered by the Philippine-American Chamber of Commerce of Arizona. This episode features insights from our latest live panel session focused on protecting your business and securing your future.
Hi everyone, my name is Roxanne and I will be your host for this special edition of BizConnect with PACCA. Today, we brought together legal experts and community leaders that will break down the laws that will impact small business owners and professionals just like you.
Roxanne Angeles, for our last Independence Day, we just induct her as Mrs. Mendonao.
Thank you. First of all, I'm truly grateful for that journey, and I want to thank all my sponsors who helped me to overcome everything there, and your support and love and encouragements fuel my my strength to stand there and represent our organization. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. So, on behalf of the Philippine-American Chamber of Commerce of Arizona, we're grateful for having our attorneys share their insights today. And we have the title today of Legally Speaking, Navigating Business and Professional Law with Confidence. So we're proud to bring this forum to our community to help empower and protect our journey in business and our professional life. And before we begin the program, it's my honor to induct our new Vice President. We had a President-elect and a Vice President from last year, and unfortunately she's been very busy with her business. And so now we have our Secretary step up, and we're going to be inducting our Secretary, Judith Austria-Bendit, to be our new Vice President.
I'm deeply honored to accept the appointment as PACCA's new Vice President. I look forward to serving with integrity, fostering collaboration, contributing to the continued growth and success of our mission. Thank you all so much again.
In our first panel, attorneys tackled everything from business formation and compliance to employee protections and legal risk.
The reasons for why you're ending your workers' employment and document their performance issues. Because as Brianna was saying, let's say an employee gets injured and files a workers' comp claim, but they've been performing poorly for the 3 months leading up to that injury, but you don't have documentation of their performance issues, and then you end their employment a few days after they file a workers' comp claim, they're going to potentially file a claim alleging that you fired them because they filed a workers' comp claim, which is unlawful in Arizona. So if you have evidence and documentation of the performance issues, that could be used to defend against claims of retaliation.
Develop clear contracts and agreements. And what I mean by that is contracts with your employees, with your vendors, with your partners, your clients, to clarify expectations, roles, and responsibilities, so that it will help reduce disputes over time. Ambiguities in contracts are a common source of litigation. So I'm an attorney, so of course I'm going to tell you seek out an attorney, but when you need these contracts, seek out an attorney and work on these contracts to avoid potential litigation. And then
Have insurance. If it is the heart of your business, if you control that person, that is an employee. That is not an independent contractor, sorry. And if you want to say they're an independent contractor, you better consult someone like Katya and get a watertight independent contractor agreement. Having that initial documentation of their problems and complaints can save the insurance companies and then therefore you a lot of money.
One thing I would encourage employers to do is to look at the background or the skills that you want from your employees and not the color of their skin or where they were born or where they're from. So if you run a business and you have a lot of Filipino customers, maybe you need someone that speaks English and Tagalog. And in which case, you can target Filipino applicants because they're going to provide that service for your customers, right? Or maybe they're going to be more familiar with the Filipino menu, they're going to be more familiar with the culture, and that's how your business is structured because it targets those clients. So you're not discriminating against someone who's not Filipino. You're not saying, I'm not going to hire you because you weren't born in the Philippines. All you're saying is, this person happens to be Filipino and they have all of the skills that I'm looking for, so I'm going to hire them. So it's really just a change of perspective, and it's moving away from that checkbox mentality where you just classify people based on their race.
The biggest takeaway? Legal planning isn't just about protection. It is about positioning your business to grow with confidence. The second panel dove into the personal side, from estate planning and immigration to injury protection and knowing your rights.
Estate planning attorney, so my focus is more on protecting your asset. And because the majority of my clients, they own not only asset but own businesses, so that's why I got involved in giving them general business advice and helping them with their business as well. So here are some things I come up with. Obviously, the first thing is structuring your business under a limited liability company or corporation. And the word limited liability kind of speaks for itself. It limits your liability. So if you open your business and you do it under your own personal name, you're kind of exposing everything that you own. But if you set up an LLC structure or a corporation, you're protecting your personal asset from your business. So in case your business goes down, you get sued, at least you're limited in what you are losing. So make sure you have proper record keeping, keep those bank accounts separate, treat your business like its own entity, and treat your personal as personal. And that will give you the protection you need to get them.
Obtain the auto insurance, and don't go with the state minimum of $25,000. Go higher if you can, because that is going to be your first line of defense. If you make a mistake, something happens, we're all human, and someone makes a claim against you in an automobile accident, you have that layer of protection.
So what I'll say is that DUIs are very prevalent, very common. They've gotten better since the Ubers and the Lyfts of the world, but I'm sure there are people in here that either have dealt with it themselves or a family member or a friend, especially in Arizona. Arizona probably has the strictest laws on DUIs in the country. So if you're ever in that kind of situation where you get pulled over and potentially an officer thinks you're under suspicion of DUI, or you have a friend that is, and you ever want to talk about what you should do, it's always best to give as little of evidence as you can. Because really there are officers out there that specialize in DUIs, and there's DUI task force officers, and they're out there just to protect our streets and get people off the road that they believe could be a danger. But if you're ever in that position, it's always best to either refuse any sort of field sobriety evaluations. You can definitely be respectful to an officer, and I would recommend that. But they understand that you don't have to make any statements.
Probably the most common way that professionals are able to get a foothold in the United States is through a program known as the H-1B program. And that happens every year. There's a lottery system. I believe it's about 85,000 visas are given every year, and it happens around in springtime, about in March, and the visas get used up very, very frequently. typically here in Arizona, we have a lot of people who are software engineers that come in. IT also is another field that they come in under the H-1B program. It's also a way that is kind of a pathway towards permanent residence, or otherwise known as getting a green card, in that an H-1B worker can typically work for a total of 6 years plus 1 extra year, which would give them the amount of time that their employer, if they like them and want them to be there more permanently, petition them for what's called PERM, which basically is a pathway towards getting your permanent residence. And the good thing about that is that their spouse can be part of that petition, as well as their children who are under 21. Let's do the right thing, but don't live in fear.
This session was packed with actionable advice, not just for entrepreneurs, but for families and professionals too.
I want to take a moment to invite each of you to become a part of a purpose-driven network. Something that supports not just your business, but your voice, your growth, and your impact. And that's what being a PACCA member is all about. So whether you're an entrepreneur, a professional, a community leader, or someone just starting to build your network, PACCA is here to help you connect, grow, and lead. So Ms. Chu here will share something about the benefits of being a PACCA member.
Being the member, I love Philippine American Chamber because I've been around and I participate a lot of different associations. Realtor, Thailand Association, Chinese, and Cambodian. Any organization, I'm joining them. I'm helping them recruit people in. I'm the personal community person, so I like to meet around with all the professionals, learning from each other. Like today, you got free service from all professionals, but they're charging about $500 an hour. So that's good to be part of the organization. And I'm here to asking you to come every month so we can meet and we can learn from each other. I usually invite like 3-4 people come with me, and agent in my office. We in the real estate, we have a lot of problems. So I like to meet every individual lawyer here so I can refer them business too in the future. Thank you.
But really just, beyond, just the business benefits, what really stands out is a sense of community and shared purpose. So PACCA is really just about networking. It's about, building relationships, like Ms. Chu had mentioned, and lifting each other up. So if you're thinking about, joining, I encourage you to take that step. It's a meaningful investment in your business and also in your professional journey. So we have a lot of, team members around here. So if you're, would like to join us as one of the PACCA member, let's chat and, we'll help you sign up for our membership.
For those who are not members, I think a lot of us here are members. We're growing. We do have our Tucson chapter. We try to support each other here. And we're growing. We're having Yuma chapter soon. So it would be great to have you guys join the family. This certificate of recognition is presented to the attorneys, the panel of attorneys here individually, in recognition of your invaluable contribution as a distinguished panelist at the Legally Speaking, Navigating Business and Professional Law with Confidence. Hosted by the Philippine American Chamber of Commerce of Arizona, your insights, expertise, and leadership have inspired and empowered others to strive for excellence. Given the 16th day of July 2025 in Phoenix, Arizona, USA, signed by the State President, me, Edward Henry Lago. I also want one who's been very supportive of the chamber. She's always there if we need anything. We have a great collaboration partnership, and I want her to join on stage with the attorneys, especially, and be having a photo. I'd like to have this certificate of recognition for your outstanding leadership and commitment in hosting Legally Speaking, Navigating Business and Professional Law with Confidence. And this recognition is proudly presented by the Philippine American Chamber of Commerce of Arizona in appreciation of your commitment to fostering education, collaboration, and excellence in the business community. given the 16th day of July 2025, Phoenix, Arizona, USA, signed by me, State President Edward Lago, for Better Business Bureau, State Chan.
We have here our attendees for the Legally Speaking that we held tonight for PACCA. Can you state your name and your business?
My name is Vanessa Guido. I'm with NB Hospice.
My name is Nicole Vance, NB Hospice as well.
Okay, and also welcome to PACCA because you are our newest member. Welcome.
Thank you.
So my question is, after hearing today's discussion, what legal topic made you reflect on your own business or your professional journey?
So I think a couple of the topics really struck a chord with us. One of which is being the professional liability mixed with your personal liability. So we had even questioned that initially, how could it impact us personally if we were to get sued, if something were to happen, and they did a fantastic job of answering that for us. And then along the lines of accidents, injuries, workman's comp, and the insurance that you really need to have coverage with because our nurses are on the go. They're in their cars, they're lifting patients. It's really important information for us to have so that we can go into this feeling legally grounded, knowing what our rights are and what the expectations are of something like that were happening.
I see. How about you? You want to add on that?
Most likely our salaries and versus the exempt and the payroll and the overtime. That was really important because NB Hospice is open 24/7 with our nurses and our staff and our patient care. So we wanted to make sure that we're paying our employees properly and for their taxes.
All right, thank you for that, and thank you for coming tonight. And also, I hope you benefited from tonight's event.
Absolutely.
Thank you
so much.
I have here one of the attendees for the Legally Speaking. Can you state your name, please, and your business?
Okay, my name is Nanette Kaduchak. I'm the owner of Dolce Shine Med Spa in Tempe, Arizona.
Yeah, so we have a question for you, Ms. Nanette. Was there any specific advice or insight from the panelists that made you feel more empowered to take action?
I like the topic about asset protection, actually. From the business asset protection, like having a workers' comp insurance, and also the topic of the Attorney Luan about protecting our assets too under the LLC and getting a trust.
Thank you for that. I'm sure everybody attended tonight was able to learn from our session today.
Definitely, a lot. We learned a lot.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This event is part of PACCA's ongoing mission to educate, connect, and empower our community. Thank you for our expert panelists, our amazing attendees, and you, our viewers. Thank you for being part of this journey. And this is BizConnect with PACCA. We'll see you again next time. Bye!